And I mean,
Respect.
yeah. Sometimes there's people in the crowd who need some milk. And I've gone outside and went and bought them milk.
Right, right.
Because
Come with it.
so
Come with it, the game.
people who know what I'm talking about, you know that milk is the answer for some people.
Right.
And
Right.
sometimes there's people there, it's hot, man.
Yeah.
It's cold, whatever. They just need something. That's another reason I had to write people out there. Because if we could be that alternative, when we go buy somebody milk, or like you do, when you take somebody to a studio and you know what happens now? The police don't get that call.
Right.
Facts.
So when people say, what is an alternative to 911? Well, shit, here we go right here.
Mm-hmm.
All I got to do is buy some milk or buy them something to eat or give them some free toys and gifts. Give them for their kids. Give them some food as well. Take them somewhere. Man, you want to write? Come on and write. Let me show you how this board works. Let me show you the different things in music.
Get them up out the hood, man.
Get them out the hood. So what happens when we do that, we don't try to save lives, Cynthia. You know what we doing?
We are saving lives.
Saving them.
Saving lives.
I got that.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Respect.
So listen, man, you had talked about something. Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle got killed. What was it? I want to say April 1st. It was the last day of March, 2019. He got killed. And brother, you did something that was tremendous. And I remember being at the site where Nipsey was killed, and there was a dude from Carver Park, and he was talking to me. And I said, oh, well, man, Boogie's doing this. Do you remember I put him on the phone with you? Put him on the phone with you. And so this is just conversation, but you already had in your mind what you was going to do anyway. I just want to connect you with him. But after that, man, tell the world, what did you do, brother? What happened?
Well, basically, we went to all the hoods in Compton. Me and Big Zoe basically hollered at people and told them we need to come together. You know what I mean? This shit on bullshit. Trump was in the office. He was doing all type of bullshit, man. It's like we losing people every day to this violence, to dumb shit. So let's get together and let's have a meeting. So what we did, we hollered at the pastor, Pastor Rayford Owens or whatever.
Right.
He's a police officer, so he
He's a sheriff, deputy sheriff.
Yeah. So he let us use the church, and the church had made breakfast for us and all that. And everybody came together, and it was people in there that had beef with each other. Motherfuckers talked, got in a circle, talked, and squashed their shit. And shit, man, the fucking murder rate went down after that, dog. Went down after that, man. We even at our park, Campanella Park, we even called our enemies up there, like real enemies that I got a problem with. You feel what I'm saying? Came to that park, and we squashed that shit. Because I knew we had to squash our shit first for everybody else to respect it.
Man, so this is major, brother. Can you share what that beef is, who that beef is with? I don't know. You ain't got to say.
Original Swamp Crip.
Yeah, but you don't have to say the dude name. But I know there's this one dude that got a certain kind of feeling for you, and you have a certain kind of feeling for him.
Definitely.
And, so what really made me feel good is the fact that I knew you were willing.
Yeah.
I didn't know about him because I don't even know him, but I knew you were willing to squash it. And then the dude that I put you on the phone with told me, he said, that's my guy, Skip, the other dude from Swamps. He said, I'm going to make him squash it. Look, we can't just keep doing this. So just knowing that you already had the heart to squash things, and then the other dude was pushing his line like, come on. But I don't know if it was that line pushed or if that dude just had a change of heart. Either way, it don't matter. But did y'all sit down? Did y'all talk?
Yeah, we talked at the meeting, at the park. We talked at the meeting. He's somebody from where he at, and I'm somebody from where I'm at. And we really made results after that.
I
You feel what I'm saying?
I heard y'all was at the park. So for me, that was major that he
results.
even from the Swamps came to Campanella Park and sat face to face with you.
That shit turned out to be big, man. You the one gave me the alley-oop for the LA Times.
Right.
So they put us on the front page of the LA Times. It became big, man. I appreciate you for that alley-oop too, man.
Yes, indeed.
My mama was proud of that.
I feel like, man, it's just stuff that needs to be heard. It needs to be on the front line. It needs to be out there like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It needs to be told because let me tell you what happened. If we don't tell our own stories, somebody else will.
Hell yeah.
Just sit there and think about it. And I know you could. How many times you done heard the story of the Pyrus, how they started, this and that, and you know, maybe your brother name wasn't mentioned, maybe your baby daddy name wasn't mentioned. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you know, you was right there. You know, so you know, if we let America, there are people in Kansas City, there are people in Tennessee, Georgia, who tell me stuff about L.A. And I be like, man, bless your heart. And they say, you know, one dude that told me, he said, man, you can't get nothing done unless you go through the big guy over here on Slauson and Crenshaw. Y'all can't do nothing in L.A. And I'm like, man, that is so not true, man. What is you talking about,
Out of
man?
towners really be thinking that one person run everything, though, man. Everybody got their own.
And then the other brother that come out of Pacoima, you know, they like, yeah, he got a major hand. He doing this. And I'm like, man, he's major in what he does, but not in what we do.
No.
You know, just like the other dude, he's big in what he do, but he don't have a say-so on what we do. But that's how people in Tennessee think. People in Jackson, Mississippi think like, man, they think it's some kind of hierarchy or structure. We got a call like in the middle of the night, like, hey, is it cool? Can we?
Can I buy some lunch?
Right.
And they really, that's the crazy part, man. That's why I was so mad when Soulja Boy did that shit. You know what I mean? He kind of made us look like a fool, like to outsiders. You know that they don't really know what's going on. They really thinking the nigga was like really from Compton, really was a Piru, and he's not. He's not. But
So let me ask you, how y'all feel about that? So the B and the P is not for sale. This is Big Y and Red Rum and all of them said the B and the P is not for sale. So what do you think about that, man? With all these people who come from other places, and one of them I like. One of them is my partner. I like this dude, right? He done gave shoes away at Campanella Park. And he got, you know, he got the homies with him on one side, and you know, the other, he got the other brother going with Rick Ross wherever he go. So I appreciate
that shit, man. We don't respect that shit at all, dog. You got a lot of niggas that's in New York, you know, funny color hair, claiming some shit they don't know nothing about, making the funk look bad, well, making the beat look bad, but it's all under the same umbrella when you go to jail. So let's put it like that.
Okay, say that again, because a lot of people say it's not. People in other cities, other states, tell me that Bloods and Pirus are separate.
No, it's not. When you go to jail, the Pirus fall up under the blood card, and we all went in jail.
Right.
It ain't no separate thing.
Right.
It's all separate. Well, it's not. The only thing is it's no Bloods in Compton. It's all Pirus. That's the only thing. But we
what
all
do they
the
say
same.
to each other?
We
What
all
do they
the same.
say?
What's
What do
up,
they say?
Blood? What's happening, Blood? You got some
Right.
niggas like, what's up, Funk? You know what I mean?
Right.
But nigga go say, what's up, Blood, more than anything.
So think about this, man. I'm hanging out at Campanella Park, man, and somebody come through, and they trying to trip on the Pirus, and I'm standing there. Do I have the option to say, oh, you mad at Pirus? I'm going to go ahead and walk off.
No.
What's going to happen when I come back to the park?
Discipline.
Man, I'm going to get disciplined even though I'm
Right.
from somewhere else.
It's
If I'm
the
at
same
Ludus
thing.
Park and we hanging out, we at headquarters, that one table over there, right? And we hanging out and somebody come through and they tripping. Do I have the option to say, wait, time out, who you tripping on? Oh,
them?
you,
All right, I'm not
you
no.
tripping on Ludus Park by rules? Well, let me go and get my car and I'm just going to wait till it's done. I can't do that.
That's just like a nigga saying the S word or something. You go telling you go say, oh, no, I ain't no Blood. Well, I'm a Piru. No matter what, that nigga trying to disrespect you.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So you have to fuck him over. I don't want to say. I want to.
Nah, just kill the brothers. Put the brothers in all the
man,
sense.
what,
Whatever else you gonna say is cool.
I don't want to promote violence.
Right,
but
don't promote the
You know what
violence.
it is, though.
Yeah, but so it's no different. It's the same on the streets as it is in jail, as it is in prison.
Yeah.
I come from a background, and I like what King Boogalou always say. We got the same last name. Our last name is the same. It's blood. Whatever, you're a Piru, but you're blood. You know, if you're a family, you blood. You're a 20, you blood. We just bloods. And I'm not promoting gang violence. I'm not promoting gangs. But I just want to be clear
the air,
that we are the same.
Yeah.
That there's no... Matter of fact, let me give you an example. Do you know... Of course you know Big Monster. Do you know where he got shot at?
In my hood.
Right. You get that?
The nigga just any mini mighty mo, they shot everybody that was right there.
Right.
You know what I
So
mean?
his house was the hangout. His house is the house where we all hung out at. He ain't never got shot there.
Right.
You think about it. He ain't got shot there. He had to go somewhere else to get shot.
Ain't no difference, dog.
But is it any difference? Nah, man.
ain't
We
no
felt the
difference,
same.
dog.
We was like, oh, where? What? Okay, well, who's the problem with? Let's see if we can find the problem. So I just say that to say that we're all the same. But
And the B ain't for sale, dog.
right. So you were talking about the dude with the funny hair and all that. What about dudes like that, man? I mean,
I
because
mean,
let me tell you what happens. I'm gonna tell you what happens. Dudes with the funny hair and the Skittles teeth and all that. What happens is people accept him back into society, right?
mm-hmm.
And then it becomes like if a person like me say something,
Mm-hmm.
like why is he here or whatever? Because this has happened. Not the funny hair, not the Skittles, but in my community, there have been people who've been on the stand pointing and people in the paperwork, and I could read the paperwork. Man, that's your name, man. I know your mom and dad. This is you. And what happens is people say, hey, kill that Skip. Man, he a reputable from over here. Let that go. Well, what happens then?
Man, hell no. That ain't cool. That ain't cool.
Is that new? That's some
once
20,
a nigga
21,
snitch.
2020?
Yeah, that's what it
20,
is. But when it's a
2022
right, that's all it
shit.
is. Some millennial shit.
Yeah.
But when a person tell, no matter they could be the hardest brother, they can
snitch
kill
is a
so many
snitch.
people. It does not matter. Your record, your rep is through. That means nothing once you snitch. Nothing. You are nothing no more. You's a bust or a rat. It's over. Your career is done.
So there's a few people, man, that they say, well, man, because based on who their family is or based on whatever, man, you know, they tend to. I don't know if you guys ever seen the scary movies where it's hard to tell who's a monster and who's not, who got bit by the whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So being in a room and I say something like, oh, yeah, that dude, and then everybody turn around and say, what, Skip? And I'm like, damn. What? This is a scary movie, man. You guys are monsters. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to tell the truth. And they like, hey, You know what I mean? So when that becomes a majority, when the majority of the people in the community said that this behavior is okay, even the hair color. You know, back in my day, if a dude dyed his hair, man, come to the park, homie. Come to the park. You about to, you know, you about to get dealt with.
Right.
You know, you suspect at this point.
It's watered down now, man.
Matter of fact, the people who are openly out in my day and age, you could not be one or the other. If you chose to be a boy who kisses boys, then you could not go with us to the movies, to the mall, to the games, to the football games or whatever. And I'm not saying nothing wrong with them, but
we ain't got nothing against you.
But what happens is now they are the same part of the same community of the same functions.
That's why you know it's over with. It's watered down. That's why you know banging is over.
It's watered
It's over
down.
with. It's watered down now.
It's all the way watered
This
down.
is different. This is totally different.
Can't even have an opinion no more to you about nothing. Like, you know what I mean? You can just because I got people in my family that's gay. You know what I mean? I ain't got nothing against a gay person, but just because you have an opinion on something, an opinion on a gay person, don't mean I hate you or don't mean I need to be apologizing over the internet. And it's like it's real sensitive. Like you can't say nothing nowadays, dog. Everything could get you canceled. You know what I mean? The littlest shit, this world is fucked up now, man. Soft ass generation.
That's
just
crazy.
keeping it chill, dog. Shit weak.
Yeah, that's no good at all. So how do we get control of our communities? How do we take it back to like the time when you moved to Compton?
I mean,
Yeah, her. I mean, she's a little older than
yes,
you,
sir,
right?
yes, sir.
You grew up; it was already going.
Yes,
But you know, just talking to Cynthia, you know, she grew up and that was white people.
Yeah.
That was white friends, and
That's
it
what I
was,
heard.
It was a diverse community, and it wasn't killings. It was
It was about these.
Yeah, it was about those. Yeah. How do we get it back to that, Sam?
I say it's accountability. You know, they need to. These OGs and triple OGs need to come back and start holding these youngsters, accountable for what they do. As we know, bullets don't have no name, and sometimes a lot of people will say they don't want to get involved until it knocks at their door. My thing is come back and get involved so it won't have to knock at your door. A guy that got killed in back of the shop the other day, Saturday. Directly in back of the shop, but he was innocent. But shooting was down the street, and the bullet goes down and fly all the way down there. You know how far that is and hit him. So there's no accountability being held by nobody. It's just everybody is doing what they want to do, and nobody is doing nothing about it.
That
Wild,
wasn't
Wild
my
West.
mechanic, was it? Wasn't the guy?
It was at that shop though, but it wasn't him.
Oh, okay.
It was a brother. It was a this young man. He was innocent,
Right.
So there's no accountability
That's-
being
yeah, that's
held.
sad.
Most time people don't want to say nothing until it knock at their door. And what I've been trying to do, what you doing, and I guess what this gentleman doing is trying to prevent it from knocking at the door.
Right.
So I haven't really been being at the building a lot, not because of that, but trying to be out in the street some too. Doing talking. People say, I haven't seen you at the building, but Jesus didn't just sit in the church. He had to get
Exactly.
out. So you got to get out and move about. And try to talk to some people. And see what we can do. Sitting there, a lot of people wasn't coming, so I've been talking to different guys and telling them to come back. Let's clean this up. I feel like we, as a team, we owe the city, so we need to come back and fix it. A lot of these youngsters are trying to mock or be somebody they don't even know who they are. Half of them don't know China Dog, half of them don't know Puddin', half of them don't know LB, Lil Vince, Tam. They don't know these guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the stories they hear, and then the person they hearing it from probably don't even know them.
Right.
It's accountability.
Man.
And that's for the whole city. That's starting at the top.
Yeah. So some of the names that I just thought about when you were saying that, think about Autumn Johnson.
Yeah.
Little baby just never got to really live.
Right.
I think about Frog's son.
Right.
Definitely think about Danny Farber. Think about, man, he at the chicken stand, man. His
Right.
mama had just went shopping, too. He didn't have to go get the chicken.
Right.
He could have, big balled inside the house,
Damn.
It's just so many different people, so many different areas up and down Rosecrans, man. How do we reunify Rosecrans? Because there was a time when I could walk down Rosecrans, any side of the street, and if somebody saw me, they're going to pick me up and give me a ride. Skip, where your car at? Where you going?
Right.
But now it's like, certain people on Rosecrans going to be like, well, what side was you on when you was walking down Rosecrans? What side was you walking down, and where you coming from? And I ain't giving you a ride. How do we fix that, man? When there's certain gas stations and certain parks and certain things like, oh, well, they over there or they not over there. How do we fix that?
Everybody got to come on the
come
same
back.
page. Everybody got to get on the same page. Nobody's bigger than the program.
No.
Get on the same page.
Ain't nobody coming with no horse and carriage, so we got to get out here and do it ourselves,
Right.
And again, it has to be accountability being held, all over, everywhere.
So the sheriff can't save us. They not gonna go back and
They
get
against
these
us.
dudes to get to the park, right?
No,
And they not going to
against
even
us.
listen to them anyway, though,
They're against us, for sure. The law ain't on our side at all.
So when you said that the homicides went down and you and Kenzo went to different neighborhoods, communities or whatever, were some of those communities Pyru, or were they
Nah,
Pyru and
it was
Crip?
Pyru and Crip.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the thing that my whole focus was, I know that a lot of these young niggas,
The young brothers.
man, how these young brothers,
Oh.
you got OGs, triple OGs telling them stuff, but they look at them like, man, you older, you supposed to be like that. Like, man, you ain't really trying to hear that shit. So I know people around my age they will listen to. You feel what I'm saying? Because they seen a little bit of my generation. They didn't see the OG's generation, so they seen a bit of my generation. So they hold on to everything niggas do. They look at niggas for everything. They watch us, all that shit. So what I did, I was getting a lot of people between like the age of like 28 to 35, hollering at the young niggas over there, the people that they look up to, and that's how we got a lot of that shit done. But I'm gonna keep it 100. It wasn't like a lot of people at that age at the meeting. It was the older niggas.
Right.
So I had to kind of like have a separate little meeting on my own. You know what I mean, with people around my age, and I feel that's why it was more effective.
Right. So listen, November 20th, I'm gonna have a peace summit. It's my birthday. It's National Peace Day. I want to get 1,000 people in that office space over there at 76th and Central. because what I want to do is if I have 1,000 people there for 4, maybe 5 hours, there's one thing I know for sure: they're not dead or in jail.
Facts. I like the way you think.
So it's not that I'm gonna try to save lives. That's why I said don't say that no more.
Right.
Because if I can get them there, whoever's there, I want 1,000. If I get 200, 500, whatever, I'm gonna save 500 lives.
Right.
Because I'm gonna feed them. I'm gonna give them something to drink, not alcohol, something to drink, food, entertainment, dominoes. I got a young lady who has a box, a hood commissary box. So I'm gonna get different neighborhoods who want to participate. Let's have a spread contest. You know what I mean? Y'all open up these boxes and get your spread on, and everybody get a spoon or a piece of bread or whatever, and whoever got the best spread, man, let's give that neighborhood something, man, $100 or something, whatever it is, you know.
Right.
Have a domino tournament, a chess tournament, you know, just get people involved, and you know, during the middle of the game, say, wait, hold on. You next and you next. Okay, well, you know he's from Whoop De Whoop and you from Whoop De Whoop. So we gonna, you know, I got a boy, Big Duke from IVC. I sat down with him and Spud the Blood from Center Park, right? And we ordered some chicken, and we sitting there. It's about 5 dudes on each side. The IVC's on this side, Center Park Bloods on that side, and Duke and Spud the Blood kept looking at each other as they was eating chicken. Like, fuck that. Time out. We're going to have a chicken eating contest between you fat motherfuckers then. Because y'all eating on, y'all want to keep standing eating the chicken. Right. And they was cool. They was friends. It was just like, don't eat more chicken. And, you know, they was competing on the chicken. So, shit, I'm going to get them there and we're going to do a chicken eating contest. Right. Because they wasn't ready to fight. They was ready, man, let me get that piece. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So we find that we got more in common. And we allow the Crip part and the Blood part to separate us. Right. Well, man, my homies to separate me from you. And we got way too much in common.
You realize that, man. We got so much in common, dog.
And they say, I mean, he said like they don't listen to the elders, even though they say the young folks can walk faster, but the elders got the wisdom. Right. They listen to us because, I mean, how you not gonna listen to somebody that started something just because a middle generation came in and somewhere down that line that's where it started getting twisted at, you know. So I know a lot of triple OGs and OGs that they'll listen to before they'll listen to some of them because they feel like a lot of them is the ones putting the guns in their hand as well, you know. Right. So, you know, it just all depends on where the information is coming from or who's saying it, who's putting it out there, you know. You one of the guys when we was having them meetings at the time, you know, and sometimes some of the guys that say if it's not a name that they know or somebody that's not well known, they ain't heard of you. Of course, they not gonna respect it, you know. Right. But if they heard of you, or they know, they think they know, or whatever they heard, then you know they respect it. So, yeah. You know.
So we got to talk about that too. Those meetings that we had at that building because it was historic.
Yes.
And it actually brought peace between, it brought a lot of peace between a lot of people, but it also brought the Pueblos and the villains to the table where they stopped their ongoing feud. Yes, so even though there was an incident that happened, it was unfortunate, and somebody was hurt really bad, but 3 or 4 years later, when we brought the table back again, that young man came in the building.
Yeah.
You know, he was there. So it's powerful. And what happens is, like I was just saying, we have to tell our own stories. Because people don't know that we had that meeting, that Cynthia, you provided the table, and Local Mike made the calls. Yeah. And they said, just bring us some Pueblo bishops. And I said, well, I don't know him, but I called a guy who don't gangbang, who came out the Pueblos, a guy who played basketball, and, you know, a guy named Count. And he, you know, I'm like, man, he's over there. He be doing basketball and working with the kids and all that. Right. And he gave me the right people. So even though he's not a gang member, was he useful? And he was. Yes, he was. Going back to 2006, prior to 2006, every King Day parade, the Rolling 30s and Rolling 40s, would get out in the middle of King Boulevard and fight and ruin the parade for everybody. And if the 30s wasn't there where they were supposed to be, the 40s would be so mad they'd walk down the King and they'd get into a fight with the Blackstones and the 20s and all the Bloods. And they would say, oh, the Blackstones was deep. No, that's a lot of Bloods over there. VNGs, everybody all in the same place. But so they, whatever, regardless, they're going to ruin it. Either they're going to get the fight they want at King and Western, or they're going to come down to King and Crenshaw and get the fight they don't want. But and all that being said, there was a guy named Tone, and Tone is I don't want to talk bad about the brother, but I don't think he's ever won a fight before in his life. I think he don't want to fight. But was he successful? And he was, because he got all the right people from the 40s. And every time he'd bring somebody, they said, nah, he ain't the one. You need to go get so-and-so. He'd get on the phone. He said, I'll be right back. And he'd go get so-and-so. So even though he was not the hardest guy out the 40s, was he successful in what he did? And eventually the 30s and 40s sat at the table, and they got more peacemakers on both sides than they do shooters now. So when something goes on, they like, oh, no, I'm about to make that call. And the dude's going to drag his homie over, get down with him. You don't be writing on the walls and doing that. You get down with him, leave that alone. So even though it might be unorthodox, it might not be legal to have setting up fights like this, but still does it save lives. Yeah. So I give that credit to Tone, even though he wasn't that guy.
That's the old school way anyway.
Yeah, I give credit to the other gentleman I named, even though, you know, that's just how it goes. Sometimes it takes certain people to bring people to the table, and it might not be that reputable one that everybody's scared of or everybody gonna listen to, but can you go get that person? You know,
we should have kept them meetings though, because I think that's what's wrong with our people. We'll start some, but we don't continue.
That's what we
start marching, and we march one day, and then we stop. We had them meetings. We was till the devil came in and interrupt our meetings, and then we went somewhere else, but. I think when we start something, we just don't finish. We'll march. Somebody get killed. We'll march. Bless you. We'll march that day. Nothing ever happens. If we doing a table, we start talking, we stop. So we just don't continue doing what we supposed to do. As far as a group of people, my journey, I'm gonna continue it till I leave here. Bless you. That I'm on. I'm gonna continue to try to make peace. And people always say, you ain't gonna never be able to stop the violence. But if I thought like them, I wouldn't.
Exactly.
I serve somebody higher, so I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing. God said, if you say one, so if I say one, then I'm gonna still continue to do what I do. Whether it's in the building, in the streets, or wherever. I'm gonna still continue to do what I do.
And I want to let you know, too, I didn't mean to discredit the OGs.
No, you didn't. I know what you were saying.
He bust on you. He bust on say the OGs ain't the...
No.
He just said that the youngsters, like some of them do listen to, I mean, it's
I didn't want to
it's both ways.
Credit the OGs, because of course, you know what I mean?
All right, but
the
you know
OGs,
what?
And they do listen.
I'm gonna
tell you what I mean, though. I'm gonna tell you what I mean. The OGs, right? They not really like hanging in the hood like that no more. You know what I mean? They got families and doing their own thing. Yeah. My age still in there, so when you see a young nigga about to go on a mission, I could snatch him out of his car. True. Chill the fuck out. We ain't doing that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
So that's what I mean about it. Listen to
I knew what you meant. I didn't take it no type of way. Trust me, I didn't. I just still let them know, like, the youngsters can move faster, but the elders got the wisdom. That's it.
Well, if you heard what he said earlier, remember what he said earlier when they started putting it together. Mm-hmm. He grabbed Kenzo. Mm-hmm. So, no, it's no disrespect. He grabbed his OG and said, come on, let's go.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
How we got it done.
And that's how it got done. So, actually, give respect to the OGs because, I mean, your voice is going to go across that street to the swamps, and the swamps going to come back, and, y'all two got to bring the peace, but you need Kenzo. You need that influence. You know what I mean? Even though Kenzo ain't the shooter right now, but you got the shooter to come over here and talk with you, and now the shooting is stopped. Right. So your part,
got the big homies. It ain't no
your
puzzle,
part is important, but imagine if Kenzo wasn't down. And like, hell no, I ain't with that, and started that negative energy going around, even though I'm glad he a good person, he ain't like that, you know. And a shout out to G Weeder as well, who's a good dude. But
G Weed.
Yes, indeed. But I gotta say that I knew he wasn't disrespecting the elders when, it was
love my OG.
I knew he wasn't. I just say, a lot of times I think some people sometimes don't give. Well, maybe the ones that's in the hood that's getting high and, drinking or whatever, then they don't have the respect for them. But you got some of them out there that, that they respect, some of them that's ready to come to the table and, do a ceasefire and stop some of this, because it's getting out of hand. And as I tell people, the majority of us have kids, grandkids, and everything else. So It's
I
about
got great grandkids now.
yeah, and I'm about to be, but you know, it's about saving these babies' lives. You know, we lived, even though we came up in it, we lived, and even though it was different times, we still were able to have fun. You know, during them times, you know, we had because it was like a family. It didn't start off like. You know, killing. It was a family. I'm protecting my family. You know, so everybody had everybody back. You know, we could sit in that park and we can sit places and stuff and you know communicate with each other and not have to worry about it because you had these guys that didn't play. It's different nowadays. You know, and then they not a lot of times some of the guys that I grew up with, they got at who they was mad at. If you caught a guy slipping and he was with his baby, his mother, or his kid,
off limits.
It was off limits. You know, these kids out here shooting with their eyes closed. It's peer pressure. They don't want to do it. Some of
Well, it's
them.
the kids shooting
Facts.
now.
Facts.
It's the kids. You were saying if you've
Yeah.
caught somebody who you was looking for and they with their baby mama and their babies,
Yeah.
it's off limits. But now the babies are the shooters.
Yeah.
They taking the babies over there. Hey, get out
That's what
and
I
get
said.
down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we were protecting the babies where they using the babies as a shield. They hide
Yeah.
behind the babies.
Yeah.
Right,
That's
right.
crazy.
I was just
man.
saying that to my son. It's like you came up, you know, trying to dog your uncle, putting your daddy or whatever. How did you stop? How did you bypass that? You know,
Right,
like not
right.
to be a gang member. You know, he played basketball and stuff. You know, so. It's like it was the protection, you know. A lot of times the guys would say, if you come over there, like take your butt to school or whatever, you know.
They ain't got that. No
Yeah,
more,
they
man.
don't have
It's
that. They
right
don't have
down.
that unity, that love no more. You know, everybody is just so mad and angry, and then everybody always say, oh, the youngsters they don't listen. You know, they don't want to hear. They don't want to listen. Y'all didn't listen either. Even though I know it's different drugs, different time, but you didn't listen.
Right.
You know, so if not everybody, but you know, some of the guys will take 5 and spend some time with them. Some of them are really hurting. You know, daddy ain't in the house, he around the corner kicking it with Sarah, and he mad because he over there and he not, you know, here or whatever. So some of them are hurting. Some of the girls are hurting. You know, they out there in the streets looking for that father figure. So they out there, you know, walking. So a lot of times kids are hurt and nobody ever take the time to say, are you all right? What's wrong? Can I help you? I'm not going to say nobody because I know you do it a lot. I do it. And maybe this brother and there's some other ones out there. But that's the thing, you know. Take these kids and ask them or take them and show them something different. That's the reason why I do Winter Wonderland. Right. I said I can't take everybody to the snow, but I can bring the snow to them.
So what day is this going to be in the city of Compton? 200 North Long Beach Boulevard.
December the 18th, come out and let the kids play. If the snow is not, I mean, we haven't just confirmed yet. You know, we have to get the snow every year, the guys. So hopefully they doing it this year, but if so, it's December the 18th.
And a shout out to who makes this happen, and who was the catalyst to bring that dude in too? Tell us some of these names here.
Well, I always give my honor to God because He's the one make everything happen.
Yes, He does. He the one made snow. You know that,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah, He made me. Besides, you know, but
Yeah,
shout
your
out,
mom and dad had a lot to do with that. That was something they was doing for you got here. That,
shout out to Bones. Bones, that's my brother. I love
Cleve
him.
Bones
Cleve
Sloan.
Bones Sloan. Shout out to
Yes, sir.
him. Shout out to Dr. Dre for the
Andre
snow, the
Young,
toys.
yeah.
Yeah, so they make it happen.
It's a
Those
blessing.
two make it happen. Bones, even for the last 2 years, my turkey giveaway, you know, so.
Right.
They make it happen every year, and I really, really appreciate it. And I always, you know, give honor to God because anybody that walked through that door, like when you brought CeeLo Green, and he kept, I didn't know who he was, and he kept saying, a big OG. And I'm like, who is this nigga calling me big OG? I mean, OG. OG, I don't know who this is. My daughter's like, Mom, that's CeeLo Green. I'm like, who the hell is CeeLo Green? You know, but anyway, shout out to CeeLo Green. I love you, though.
Yes,
you know, you know,
Man, he sat there too.
he did. Gave away
just
that
sat there and
food.
gave away
Yes.
food.
Yes, he did.
I mean, you know, I
Yes, he
like
did.
individuals like that. I like Chris Brown came to Campanella Park.
Man,
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, he told me to get rid of taboo though. He pulled me to the side. I want to get down with. What do you want to get down with? And he said to do with the braids. So I looked.
What
I said,
Taboo
oh, that's
do to
taboo, man.
Taboo
So I
was
went and
tripping.
said, Taboo, what did you do, man? Don't blow. But he still gave out the shoes, and then we left there. We went to the jungles and gave out shoes in the jungles.
Chris, I
as well.
like Chris, man.
Yeah,
Because
Chris Brown
I
is
was
cool, man.
outside. There was a gang of homies by the Campanella Park sign, right? So instead of him coming out and walking to his car,
he jumped on that
walked
sign
to the homies and shook everybody's hand, jumped on the sign, and took a picture.
I got pictures
That's
of
love.
him out there.
That's love.
It's some of them out there that do some good things, you know.
Yeah.
It's some of the celebrities out there do some good things for people, you know.
Indeed.
And then it's
that don't answer the phone, don't call back.
Get famous off the hood and then leave the hood.
Yeah. It's all right,
A lot of them.
and there's a lot of them out there claiming Compton that's not really doing nothing for Compton, you know. So my thing is come back and help Compton. It don't matter who you help, just come back and help, you know.
Somebody.
We need all the help we can get right about now.
So think about this. A lot of people pass out turkeys.
Right.
They give away bikes. They do a lot of things and say they out there in the community. But how many people in the city of Compton actually do what you've done when you had that table? And you know, it just wasn't the Peblos and them. Remember my homeboys came and they was outside.
Oh, yeah.
Remember my son brought the dudes and they went outside. We were like, hey, what you going outside for? Come back in the meeting, you know. I mean, it gets like that, right? Like I said, everybody needs some milk every now and again, right?
Man, I remember one time you had one of the meetings and I came to the meeting, but I went into the wrong room. I think it was the East Coasters and the F-13.
Oh, okay.
Man,
Yeah,
I
you
must
came to
have
that
sat in
building.
that meeting like 20 minutes.
Until you realized you was the only blood in there.
I'm looking like,
Right.
man, it's the wrong. I'm
But
out of
look-
here. But I respected what they had going on, so that's why I was
Oh, yeah.
into it. I was interested. You feel me?
But see, here's the thing. That's what I'm saying, because a lot of people give away turkeys and give out food and all that, and they do winter wonderlands or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
But you have actually had them sit at the table. They've come into the table, and it wasn't always cool. Remember, somebody said something about Slick and Taboo, like, well, we gonna take fades? No, we not gonna take fades. Hold on, man. We gonna work this out, right? But I mean, you know, it was political though about Slick brother. But you know, and then what you did with Kenzo going and bringing this table, right? And like you said, so I have meetings over at the new building where it's just Bloods and Crips, Florencia's, East Coast, everybody meet there, right?
Yeah.
So it's different. What we do is organic and original in the neighborhoods. We bring the warriors to the table to stop the wars.
A shout out to you, Skip. Skip does
shout
so
out
much
to Skip,
everywhere.
man.
He in Oakland, he in everywhere. If I wasn't scared to fly, I'd be right there with him.
Shout out to
Shit,
Skip.
you got a van? I got a van. We drive to Oakland. Shit.
But Skip is
Skip be
everywhere
everywhere, man.
and
Right.
doing excellent work. I mean, excellent work. And shout out to you because you have been right there. I can pick up the phone. I don't care what time it is, Skip, and he right there. So shout out to you too, Skip, because you need your flowers too. That's what Red Rum always said. You know, he was going through a whole lot, and he just said he just wanted to be recognized. You know, sometimes people be going through stuff and you don't even know what they going through because they smiling. Or you ain't sitting down talking to them to see, but he expressed a whole lot of stuff to me. He was going through a lot. You know?
Man, that made me feel bad because he expressed a lot to me and it hurt me, so I didn't want to hear it. I don't know if you ever been around somebody who's talking and I'm listening to him and I'm thinking, damn, I
'Cause
can't
you
fix
can't do
that.
nothing
I can't
about
do
it.
nothing about it.
can't
So
do
I
nothing
would
about
change
it.
the subject and make
That
him
shit
laugh
hurt.
or let's do something
Yeah.
else.
That
Or,
shit
man, let me
hurt.
get you something, you know, we go get something to eat or, hey, look, go park your car, man, ride with me. Or, you know, I would do something to get him to stop talking about what he was talking about because he told me where he lived, told me to come over. And I'm like, man, what is you doing living here? And he was like, man, this is where I live, Skip. He said, the studio's here at my house here. And I'm like, damn. And I was thinking, man, you so much more than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're so much. And I couldn't deal with it. So I had him stop talking to me about it. And I changed the subject.
Can you imagine, though, everybody that's posting him and playing that song if they'd have did it when he was here?
Right.
You know, it's always let people know how you feel about them while they're here, you know, because once they gone, they gone, you know.
Yeah, because other people let me know how they feel about me. You know, they wake up, I feel like I'm from MWA. They be like, fuck you, Skip. You know, and they keep going.
Whatever it is,
right.
whatever it is, let somebody know that you know, because some people don't, I mean, because you see them smiling don't mean that everything is all right sometimes. You know, people go through stuff and, you know, Skip, me, we always vent to each other. Skip, I'll call Skip, say you called at the right time, and I'll call, and he'll call, and I'll say you called at the right time, because sometimes, you know, you just have to release it. The majority of times for me, I give it to God, because, you know, I have so many people coming to me, but I always say, you just talk to people, you know. We living in a world where these teenagers and stuff is so suicidal. I've never seen so many kids that young babies taking their lives and stuff. You know, like it just. Oh my God, it's so sad. You know, every time you look around, a kid is taking their life because they being bullied. They scared to tell their parents, or the parents just ain't paying no attention or listen. Right. Listen to your kids, you know, because you don't know what's going on or what's happening. You know, sometimes they scared to tell because the parents be hollering at them or yelling or whatever. You know, but. Oh, listen to your kids, people. Listen to your kids, and y'all come back and let's try to get this together everywhere, not just Compton, everywhere. We're all are killing that, you know. Right. Like reach out to Skipp for sure, because he can sure help you, because he gonna travel. He gonna travel to wherever you need him to come.
I'm on my way to Georgia. I'm with what's her name? What's that lady name? I always talk about her too. Gladys Knight.
Really?
I'm on the midnight train to Georgia. So I don't know if she's still out there, but I'm on my way. But look, what I was trying to say, you know, thank you for your compliments. But what I was trying to say is that when people who give away toys, give away candy, give away stuff, but they don't bring the Warriors together. And I just want to highlight that you brought, matter of fact, you brought the Warriors together for that Jubilee series, Middle Ground. Remember when you called me and AD and Squabbler, everybody else, the guys from Compton?
I got a lot of people, my first Instagram, I had a lot of people follow me and find me from that.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people fucked with that.
Yeah, so it really was a major impact to where I think it was one of their biggest shows ever. So AD hit me in the middle of the night about 11:30 the other night and said, "Hey, Skipp, what's the name of that?" Well, he don't call me Skipp, he call me Unc. What's the name of that show we was on? And he had the picture of us, right? And so he hit me about 11:53. So I wake up to use the bathroom at 2, and I see it. And he hit me again, like, "Come on, Unc, what's the name of it?" I'm like, damn, all in the middle of the night, he's hitting me, asking me about that.
I'm pretty sure he had a lot of people walk up to him and say, "Hey, man, I seen you in the thing," because I had a lot of people walk up to me. They said, "I seen you in the Jubilee thing." At the time, I didn't realize how big Jubilee was. You feel what I'm saying? And started doing my research.
I think it's 8 million.
Damn, they get millions of views on the things they do.
8 million people have seen that.
Watched us.
That's major. That's major exposure.
I get a lot of people hitting me up about this.
But that's my point, though. So there are people who give away turkeys, toys, Christmas toys, stuff like that, but they don't bring the Warriors together. They don't bring the people to the table to talk. And that's something that I can highlight with both of you that you do. So you can give away turkeys and bikes for the rest of your life, and you've already earned your place because of the tables that you've put together to stop the violence, the marches you put together for Autumn Johnson. I can't remember what the second one was for, but I was out of breath. My knees was hurting. But Cynthia, I'm sure you were hurting too, but I couldn't tell. Cynthia was marching, man. It was hot. One time we went from Central and Rosecrans to Ludus Park. The other time we left Ludus Park and went to the Compton Courthouse, the mayor's place or whatever, and what it is, though, it's not about the marching. It's about, can you organize the people to follow?
Facts.
And the people followed. The people followed. So, therefore, it's like, if you did nothing else, do you know how impactful the work you've already done in the city of Compton? And let me tell you what's going to happen. There's somebody probably 12, 13 years old right now, right? And in the next 10, 15 years, they're going to do something impactful in Compton. And everybody going to say, you were the first. You the one brought it all together. You the one solved it or whatever. And this motherfucker is 12 now. And you guys have already put in so much work. You get what I'm saying? So true. The thing is, I can't get mad. I can't be, at whatever event he has or she has going on saying, no, you ain't the first. You didn't do that. Right. I was there when Boogaloo did it. And Cynthia, I walked with Cynthia when I can't even do that. I got to say, yeah, you the first. I'm so glad you're here.
Just keep doing it.
We got to keep going.
It ain't easy, but just
got to keep going.
Man. At that meeting we had, it was kind of like a little bit of tension. You know what I mean? Because we had like the mobs and the looters there too. And they're the LAC or whatever. They don't get along at all, man. But they sat in that circle. They talked about a few things. I probably had to interrupt about 2 or 3 times just to keep it focused. You know what I mean?
Right.
And keep niggas from not hitting each other. But they really got it done though. I don't know how it is over there right now, but at that time we made progress.
Right.
We definitely made progress.
Well, I like to revisit that, man, and my shout out to both of you is November 20th. There's a peace summit. I believe we got like 2-3 minutes left. So if I can get you guys to commit to bringing people to this peace summit, you know, it doesn't matter who they are. Remember what I told you about Count and about Tone? These were two dudes who never was going out to hurt people or do hurtful things, but they were so impactful. Count and bringing the Peblos, giving them, hey, and they don't know me like they know him. Say, hey, Skip, I'm gonna give you the number. I told them you're gonna call them, and they showed up. The same thing with Tone. Tone, you know, got these dudes to come to the table. So it doesn't matter who you bring, just bring somebody who could be impacted or be influenced to do more peace work. That's what we need to do. Bring that. And bring whoever rap, too. We'll give them the stage, give them a mic. I'm going to have Big Chunk. Big Chunk is the DJ for Big Boy in the Morning. Big Chunk is going to be my DJ. So
I'll bring an artist.
Yeah, we got the sounds out there. It's going to sound good. It ain't going to sound staticky like a AM radio.
There we go.
You know what I mean? We got the real microphones, the real speakers, the real, you know, everything going. So tell them, come on out, man.
I'll be there, Skip.
All right, November 20th. You coming too?
20th.
November 20th. You guys never forget that date. I need y'all to remember that.
No, I'm matter of fact, let me go.
Every year, remember that date. Just put a calendar reminder every November 20th that Skip is doing something somewhere. My day from this point on, my birthday is always going to be about other people. You know, first thing I do, I wake up, I give praise to God, but then I call my mother and I ask her, do you know what today is? She said, it's our anniversary. It's the day I met my mother. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So
I like the way that sounds.
Yeah. So anything y'all want to lead the crowd with? We got like a minute and 30 seconds. Cynthia, what you want to tell the people before we get out of here? What they need to know?
Let's get peace. Bring peace. Shout out to everybody that's trying to do the work, and shout out to everybody that have came through. Sylvia Nunn Angels that helped, that donated, that talked about us, that spreaded the word. Shout out to Bebop that brought me my bomb jacket. You know, but shout out to everybody that's trying to do the work.
Oh, you talking about Bob from Carver?
Yeah.
Man, me, him, and Sykes spent about 3 hours on the phone today talking about God. Imagine that, man.
That's good.
A Swan, a Carver Park in the 20s, and we on there talking about how God has blessed us. And he said, well, God blessed me. I had 2 cases. And man, God blessed me before you. He blessed you in 2002. He blessed me in 98 because I had 2 cases too going to life. Right, you know what I mean? And then Syke was like, yeah, you know, I got blessed. And man, we all just talking about, you know, the blessings we got from God. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Bob. What's up, Bob?
Shout out to Bob, my brother, China Dog. Shout out to Low.
What's up, LB?
Shout out to Gangsta Sam. Shout out to all the
Gangsta
homies.
Sam told me to call him, man.
Yeah, shout out to everybody all over the world. Shout out to everybody. I love everybody.
What you gonna close out with?
Man, just whatever you do in life, stay consistent with it, stay productive, and triple down on it. You can obtain anything you want to be.
Yes, indeed. And I want to say in closing, one of us represents all of us. Right. One of us represents. So if you do something crazy, stupid, whatever, man, they going to talk about all of us. They ain't going to just talk about you. They going to say that's a representation of us all. So don't be out hurting your brothers, killing folks, none of that, man. Be a good representation. When I leave the house every day, I represent all of y'all, and I represent you well. So with that being said, another shout out to Sister Heron. Thank you for Gang Talk Radio. I want to thank my guest, Boogaloo. That's Boogaloo out the west side, Campanella's, and also Cynthia Nunn out of all over Compton, but original out of Ludus Park. So
that's right.
Appreciate y'all being here.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
All right, thank y'all. I got some theme music coming up. I don't know what it is, though.
Somebody need to do a song for L.A.
Y'all can't leave till you hear my theme
song.
Go
out to L.A. The new anthem. California Love Part 2. To live in L.A. West side. To live in L.A. where every